I love New Year's. I love New Year's. I love the reset. I love feeling like this is a fresh start. I love that it's a chance to reflect on last year and good decisions, bad decisions, everything in between. But I am not big on like making promises that are just really ridiculous.
Hello, hustlers, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, everybody out there trying to turn an idea into income. I want to welcome you to Serious Business, because it's serious, but it's not all that serious. Welcome to your weekly spot to get everything you need to know about making your business more profitable, but also having a lot more fun while doing it, because if this ain't fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. May all the acquaintance
It's not the New Year yet. We're just on the cusp of it.
Well, what were you going to sing?
Why would
I thought you were getting ready to sing.
No, it's like was it implied that we had to sing something?
It looked like you were taking a singing breath.
No, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just breathing in the new year. I'm breathing in. We are on the cusp of a new year and
a new decade.
Actually, New Year's
I'm already
Eve,
sick of hearing about it. I'm already sick of hearing about a new decade. It's an old decade,
really?
2020 vision. It's like not even, and I'm already like.
Yeah, I like it. I like a new decade. I like 2020 vision. I like, what do you want your next 10 years to look like? Plan it out now. And I like New Year's. New Year's is an important reset for me.
Hookers, yachts, and rum.
Okay.
If you had to choose 3 words that you want the next 10 years to be.
Okay. It's like you're talking to yourself in your head and answering questions.
Oh my god!
Like someone said, sing your favorite song for New Year's, and you just went into it. So we're only hearing half the conversation with Suzanne Evans today. That's how this one's going to go.
Exactly. Half of me is in the last decade. Half of me is in the new decade.
I
so
understand.
It is about to be a new year. You said you love it. You love thinking about what your next 10 years are.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I'm a strategist, but not a big planner. You know that. She just rolled her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually love spontaneity. I love to go, let's go somewhere this weekend, which means we leave tomorrow. So I love the strategy of all of it. But sometimes I'm like, you can plan your next 10 years, but let me just ask you a quick question, Melonie. Or would you have planned the last 10 years the way they laid out?
It's hard. The good.
No, just answer it. Would the last 10 years have been planned the way? I mean, it's surprise after surprise, not in the plan.
But isn't that life?
Yes, that's my point. So why the hell are we planning it?
But no. But you have to start. I do believe in intentions. I do believe that you set intentions and those are the things
I intend to not plan.
Guidepost. Okay. But yeah, you can't predict anything.
No, I know. I'm joking. Intentions are cool and to set the direction and the path of your life. But actually, I'm letting you hijack this podcast a little bit. And from the moment you started singing, you took it over. I actually want to talk about what not to do in 2020. Okay. I want to talk about what is our not to-do list, right? My dear friend Larry Winget says this all the time, and I think it's so brilliant. He says, you don't add anything to your life to make it better. You stop doing things that aren't working. And right, it's so true. So
I got a list of those.
So I thought we'd talk about ours a little bit and talk about why that's such a powerful concept, because I think everybody is sitting around the next few weeks and they're going, exactly what you said. What do I want the next 10 years of my life to look like and my business to look like? And what do I want? And what do I want to have? And what are my dreams and my hopes and my intentions and my aspirations? And I think that is valuable, but I think a more valuable list would be, what should I stop doing? Right? So I thought we'd go back and forth a little bit, and then we'd kind of position this for you guys to think about what, remember that old show that it was so hot for a time there, it had its moment, what not to wear? Oh, it was on Life.
No, I know. You're saying like it's
not,
gone.
But it was a thing. It was like a thing for a short amount of time. And I loved the name of it. It was What Not to Wear.
Stacy somebody,
yeah.
She had that gray streak in her hair. It was so cool.
But the point is, so often
I hope
we're
when
like,
you get old, you'll have that gray streak in your hair.
I probably not. I'm sorry. I have some gray streaks, but they're splattered.
Mm.
So I always loved the name of that because it was what not to wear. And it was such we often are like, what should I wear? What should my look be? Quite often if you go, hey, don't wear these things, it will create a good look, right? Same thing for a great new year. So what is your not to-do list?
I'm going to not smoke.
But you don't smoke now.
That's my plan. I'm going to keep going with that one.
I'm gonna keep not smoking. Oh my gosh,
I feel
guys!
good about that decision.
I'm gonna let you know this is gonna be the worst podcast you listen to in 2019 or 2020. I'm telling you this. I am not going to do good podcasts.
Well, sounds like a good plan.
All right, what's your not plan?
My not plan is I'm going to let, I don't know. You've posed it in such a weird way that now I'm having a hard time thinking.
Yeah, because it's a better way to think about it. It makes you go deep. It's not just more dreamy
Well,
bullshit.
You go.
It's not more dreamy bullshit. I said this in our executive retreat the other day. I am not going to do in the business marketing tactics that I'm not good at. That doesn't mean I won't risk or try new things, but there are things that after 11 years of doing this that I'm really good at. They are sure things, and there's things that we're okay at or we do kind of well, and I'm not doing those anymore. It takes my time, it takes my energy, it takes my soul. I'm going to do a bunch of what I'm good at, and I'm going to let go of the stuff I feel like I should be doing because people do it. They do it in the industry. Marketers say you should do it, and I'm going to do what I'm good at.
Okay.
Now you.
I'm like, I love it when you roll your eyes at me. I'm not good at spontaneity. This is something we've already established in life. So, something that I'm not going to do spontaneity. That's what I'm not going to do in 2020. I'm not going to do it. I just don't do it.
Okay, back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I am, one of the things that I want to stop doing. Maybe that's a better way of phrasing it to you and to these listeners. Maybe the listeners are as confused as you are, and I'm the only bright, shining light here. It's what do you want to stop doing? That's really what it is. Another thing that I really want to do is I would like to stop not filling my water glass when I first come into the office. So it's there. I know it's there. And then I wait till the afternoon when I'm parched, and then I run and go do it between calls. And I tell myself every morning, it's there, just go do it now. And I don't do it. So I'm going to stop avoiding my...
You're avoiding water.
I am avoiding water.
What do you think that says? Do you think
You're next.
Well, you're a Pisces.
You're next.
So you'd think you'd drink a lot of water.
You're next.
I mean, mine is about water. So how my head goes is I go, yes, I want to drink more water in 2020.
So you're just going to take on my...
So instead of saying I'm going to avoid drinking water.
In all... not being funny here, let me tell you how the mind works for our listeners. It's really interesting. How many times have you told yourself this is going to be the year that you drink water? Or the month that I drink water.
Well, I'm funny about that. Yeah.
No, a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen you go through periods of time where you carry a big ass jug around and you fill it up, and then I don't even know where the jug is now, and you're not doing it. So let's use weight as an example. Because
my jug got sandwiched behind Adam and Amanda's 25
okay.
water
Readers don't know what that means.
No.
Family came in and moved your jug. Okay. But weight, this happens all the time with people who want to lose weight, right? They go, this year I'm going to lose weight. So it's this year I'm going to drink water. The brain actually has a hard time believing it will do something that you continue to lie about.
Right. Which I'm a big believer in. That's why I never say I'm going to do a diet, because I know I've lied to myself enough.
But that's my point. So it's an interesting way to think about your new year is, what am I going to stop doing?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to stop not using my water. When I use the water container, it works. So the brain often has a capacity to take on information and action that's put into a new opportunity for it. So if you're constantly like, I'm going to exercise 3 days a week, if you've said that for 3 years
and you don't do it,
truth be told, it's going to be very hard for your body and your brain to do that. But if you say, I'm going to stop taking the elevator and only take the stairs, that's actually a newly formed consciousness in the brain that you may actually be able to do it. So that's the point of this podcast, is a new way of, I feel like I'm impressing you right now.
Maybe.
It's a new way of thinking of, because this is all neuroscience. I mean, it's all, how does the brain take on a belief or an action and then translate that belief or action into movement in your life or in your body or in your words or in your actions. And so that's why sometimes I like to make a list of things I'm going to stop. Not of all these intentions and dreamy things and another big list of bullshit that maybe you get to 50% of it, when we all know what happens on, what is it, Blue Monday, which is like the third Monday in February. It's the third Monday in February, and it means that 90% of people have already given up on 90% of their New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So what are you not going to do, Melonie?
I am not going to overcomplicate things.
Oh my God, guys, it only took 10 minutes and 24 seconds to get her into the game. Okay, love it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you say, I'm going to simplify things, you've probably said that before. Yeah. But if you're like, I'm not going to overcomplicate this, you can actually pause and give yourself a fresh new chance in how you're approaching things.
Yeah, overcomplication is a big thing for me. So
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my team with petty things. And what I mean by that is I tend to be the person that has to give the lecture. I have to give the talk when something's going wrong or something bad. I'm going to send them an email and be like, this is what you need to do. I'm going to take less of my energy and time on that and spend more of my time on important training and important education. So I am not going to communicate with my team in big ways on petty things.
Yeah, because you can spend so much time.
Yeah, it's an energy drain.
What is it that Larry says sometimes about, what is it? Just because they invite you to the fight, or you don't have to.
I don't know.
It felt so wise.
It felt so wise. Maybe we'll have him on sometime and we'll have him tell us what it is. All right. Another thing. What are you not going to do?
I am not going to let my tomatoes grow on the ground this summer.
Thank you, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
She took some dumb-ass gardener's advice and let all of our tomatoes go on the ground.
I've
and
never
there
had
were
this many tomatoes
hundreds
in my life.
of tomatoes that were just...
Hey, listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you have some tomato advice, send it in. But I took some bad advice. I've never produced tomatoes in my life, ever. Listen, Suzanne and I tried to grow them in a pot on the fire escape in our apartment in, I almost said Brooklyn. We never lived in Brooklyn, but in New York. And never. And this summer, someone said, you can just let them lay on the ground and they'll grow. And they did not. They rotted. And I've literally had hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes that basically rotted. So I'm not going to do that this summer. I'm not going to do it.
Okay. I'm going to give you one more and then we're going to give this a little bit more of a container. So I am not going to tell myself that I'm going to exercise in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's my philosophy. I believe that. Yeah. It's a good one.
I'm not kidding. I'm not going to tell myself. I go through spurts where I do great movement and walking and I love doing it, but I'm not going to be that person that at the beginning of the year says I'm going to do this and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I may do it. I may not do it, but I am not telling myself I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, this is something I tell people all the time in business and in life. If you lie to yourself enough, eventually you won't be able to believe anything that you tell yourself.
And that is the point of what we're saying.
And that's why I think New Year's I love New Year's. I love New Year's. I love the reset. I love feeling like this is a fresh start. I love that it's a chance to reflect on last year and good decisions, bad decisions, everything in between. But I am not big on like making promises that are just really ridiculous that most people don't follow through on. And then you feel really bad about yourself, and all you do is erode the foundation of your self-assurance and things that you know you'll do. So when it comes time to actually make a decision and be able to follow through on it, you're not sure that you will because you've lied to yourself so much. So there you go. That's my philosophy about what I will or will not do.
And I think that's the
I'm
point
sticking with I'm not going to smoke in 2020.
I think my whole point of this was, what would it look like if this year, just give it a shot, you first made a list of all the things you want to stop doing. All the things you want to stop doing or all the things you refuse to do or that you don't want to do. You may not need an intention or a resolution list, because it becomes so clear what you want your life to look like and what you want to do and what you want to have and what you don't want to have and what you don't want to do, that it really begins to form itself.
Yeah.
Really begins to form itself. And that was the point of this, is just taking a different approach to this, taking a different look at it, and starting with what you want to stop, or starting with, and guys, if you stopped doing the things you don't want to do, your life would be so much happier than if you added in a bunch of things you do want to do.
Word.
Right? And I'm going to end there, because that is my whole point of this, is stop doing things in 2020 and you will have a better life.
Sounds good.
See you next time, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast, Serious Business. Please follow us on Instagram at The Driven Inc. And make sure to check us out on Facebook at Driven Inc. as well. Subscribe to this podcast. You don't want to miss a single episode. And tell a friend, because good friends share good stuff. See you next week.